Good morning, everyone. It's so funny when I log on to do this, it tells me I'm live, but it looks like it's still loading. So I'm hoping that you're seeing me. Good morning, good morning. Happy New Year, happy January. Welcome to the Witch's Rambles. I am Krista Marie, the witch on Widow Point. And this is our ninth ramble, which is really kind of cool. The time has gone by really quickly. Um, Today, we are going to talk about animals, a little bit more about animals. In ramble number 8, we talked about animals who show up for us as signs and messages, and the things that the animals come in to tell us. They tend to show up when we are in need of guidance and support, and we just have to pay attention and watch for them. You know, those random animals that appear in your world, whether it is them physically in, the physical animal being in your yard, or you see it on your drive, or seeing the physical animal in your world, or they may come to you. An animal sign may be on a physical sign on the side of the road, or in a shop. You may see animal signs in your social media feeds, seeing the same animal pop up in memes over and over and over again, seeing the same one. There is very often a message in those appearances of the animal, especially when they are repeating like that. The other side, the other part to working with animals is that we also can call on the animals for their support and their guidance. We have animal guides, and we can call on them, and we can call on animals who aren't necessarily our guides, but maybe animals who have shown up, or creatures who have shown up for us in the past. Dragonfly is one for me that showed up excuse me, showed up for me here, when I first moved to the end of the earth. Owl is one that showed up, and I call on their energy from time to time when I find myself in similar situations and am looking for their guidance and their support, and calling on their energy. So, how do we find out? How do we figure out who our animal guides are? And for me, one of the easiest and most effective ways that I have found is to ask before going to sleep at night for my animal guide. This is how I found my wolf. I have a wolf who has been an animal guide for many years now. I also now have a horse who is a recent addition to my spirit team, and she is a very close guide now, which I love. I love her energy. It's so beautiful and loving and soft and strong. And I'm very grateful that she has chosen to become a part of my animal team. And so when we go to sleep at night, if you take a few minutes, and really set the intention and ask clearly, please, we want to ask respectfully. We want to ask with intention and with our hearts that our guide, our animal guide, is shown to us in some way through our dreams. And you may not necessarily have a clear, vivid dream that you remember, but you might wake up with the thought of a certain animal in your head. And it may or may not be one that you have thought of before. It might be one that, is really random, and you wake up and you go, okay, why am I thinking about a moose? That makes no sense. I've never seen a moose in my life. Why is moose in my head this morning? That is your animal guide speaking up and answering your call to show themselves to you. Another way is in meditation. And so sitting and quieting your mind and just asking that question, and then focusing on your breath and allowing what comes to you and trusting it. That is the other side, is you have to trust the answer that you get. So that is a really simple way to get in touch with your animal guides. And then we can call on their energy when we are in need of their guidance and support. So depending, as you get to know your animals, as you get to know their energy, as you get to know their characteristics, as you get to understand their messages, come to understand their messages, When you find yourself in similar need, you can actually call on their energy for support. So, my horse, she is very calm, she is very stable, and she is so present, right? Living in the present moment. And one of my coaches, mentors, friends, guides has a herd of horses that she works with, and she talks very often of how horses are prey animals. And so they live in a state of rest and digest and awareness. So they are very present in the moment, because if they're not, they'll die. Right? So when I find myself worrying about the future or anxious, or find myself my mind wandering into all of the what ifs and what could be's, and just kind of not in the present and feeling very scattered and um, chaotic, I will call on my horse and her energy to support me and help me in becoming more centered, more present in the moment, and asking myself, what is right now, as opposed to getting caught up in the what was and what could be and what ifs and all of those things that we do to ourselves that take us into those anxious states, right? So I call on my horse's energy in those moments, and she comes, and the energy is calming, and it brings me more into the present moment, calling on her energy. My wolf, wolves have they are strong, they are resourceful, and they are comforting. My wolf is very much a comfort animal for me. So if I'm feeling in need of solutions, if there's something going on and I can't see the forest for the trees, I can't see how to get through whatever is going on. I'm in need of solutions, I'm in need of directions, I'm in need of guidance. I will call on my wolf for his strength and his resourcefulness and his comfort. And it's a beautiful thing how we can call on our guide's energy, our animal's energy, and how it really truly does change our own, how it really does shift us out of where we are into where we want and need to be. So that, and often, very often, I do this at bedtime, and they will come to me through the dream, or I will wake up in the morning and my energy will have shifted through the night, because our spirits travel at night. We spend time with our guides, whether they are our animal guides or otherwise, while our body sleeps and rests and heals. And so you will very often wake up in the morning in a different energy by calling on them and asking for their assistance, asking for their guidance, asking for their support. And that is the key, is all we really need to do is ask and be open to receiving, and trust the shift in our energy, trust the change in how we feel. That's what energy work is all about, is working with the energies and allowing our bodies and our energies and our thoughts to shift and change. And it's in that allowing that we make so much progress. And our animals can really help with this. So if you don't know who your animal guides are, as a child, Crow was one of my guides. Throughout my married life, Heron was one of my guides. And I could call upon their energy and their guidance and their support. Although at that time, I did not know that. I could have. I shouldn't say I could. I could have, but I didn't know that at the time, because I was still at the very I hadn't even started this healing journey at that point. So if you are just getting started and you are just starting to tap into this world of energy work and energy healing, these are some things you can do, is asking at bedtime for your guardians, your guides, your animals to come forward and show themselves to you, and then trusting the answer, trusting whether you see it in dream time or you wake up with, like I say, if you wake up with moose, I don't know why moose, but if you wake up with moose on your mind, or you wake up with, maybe it's mouse, maybe it's dragonfly, maybe it's butterfly, but trust the answer that you get, and then start to tap into and learn about that animal, so that you're learning about their characteristics, you're learning about their energy. Maybe there are animals that have shown up for you in the past that, by listening to this, you're saying, "Oh, well, this used to show up for me all the time. I wonder if they were a guide." And then you can start to tap into, remembering what was going on at that time, and tapping into learning that animals, that beings, that creature's characteristics. Because, an animal guide can be anything from a moose to a mouse. um, any kind of critter, dragonflies, butterflies, spiders, snakes, otters, owls, blue jays, cardinals, chickadees. Chickadee has been a sign around here quite a lot over the last few years, and I love to see the chickadees. And goldfinches are one. They're always my sign that spring has truly arrived, when the flocks of goldfinches start to arrive, because they have a very distinct flight pattern, and they have a very distinctive song, and they make me so happy every time I see them. They are my sign that spring has arrived here on the point, and I look forward to that sign every year. So, if there have been animals or birds or creatures that have shown up for you, and even these can even be mythical creatures, right? Dragons, unicorns, this is not out of the realm of possibility. Everything is possible in the vortex, in the field. And so just trust what has happened for you, what you have seen, the animals that have been around you, and start to tap into and learn their characteristics, learn what messages they may hold for you, and then you can start to call on their energy. And we always take a moment to ground and pause and be sure to ask respectfully that they show up for us. And they always do, right? Whether they are animals or spirits or angels, whoever is on our spiritual team, they're just waiting for you to ask for their assistance. And they are so happy and grateful and ready to respond when you ask. And your animals are no different. So I invite you to explore the animals from your life who has shown up, who is maybe showing up now, and learn their characteristics, and tap into and be open to hearing the messages that they are bringing to you. And then as you need them, in similar situations, like I say, if I'm needing to become more present in the present moment, I will call upon my horse. If I am needing some assistance and some resourcefulness and some comfort, I will call upon my wolf. Right now I'm working with bear energy, and that's a really nurturing, nourishing energy as well. So call upon your animals and see what it comes up for you. And I would love to hear from you. You can always comment. I will always come back and reply to you. The links to my Facebook page and my Facebook group are in the description below. The group on Facebook is the Witches Workshop. This is a space for you if you are actively engaged in your healing and in your learning. I would love to have you. You're welcomed and encouraged to come and participate and learn there. Each month this year, we are going to explore a different tool. And so I have a poll going right now in the workshop to see what January's tool will be, because of course I always want to support you and give you what you are needing. So I welcome you to join that. There are questions for the Facebook group. They are going to get a slight tweak and a slight update, but the questions are there to protect the energy of the space, because the Witches Workshop is very much an extension of my home. And so, in order to protect the energy of that place, of that space, there are questions there that I ask you to complete. And when you do so, you will be automatically added to the group. My Facebook page is there as well. I'm on Instagram from time to time. All those links are in the description below. And I would love to hear from you. I would love to see you. You're welcome into my world. And I hope to hear from you. If you have questions or comments, if this resonates for you, I would love a like. If you feel this is something that could help others, I would love a share. And please subscribe. We have more Witches Rambles to come. Excuse me. So I hope your new year is off to a beautiful start. I hope that there are animals showing up in your world and that you will get curious now about them and their messages and start to call on your animals for the support you need when you need it, because they are there and they're ready to help you. So that is it. That is my ramble on animals and calling on their energy for today. I I'm going to go and continue on with the flow of my day. I am sending you so much love and the brightest blessings, and I will see you next week.